I asked pros to give me their 5 secret tips to unlock masters, and here's what they said. I spoke with Evex, who's number 3 globally for trophies and consistently masters. I also spoke with Sellout, who's number 1 in Ireland for trophies and consistently masters as well, plus a few other people. I bet you didn't think of tip number 5. The first and most important tip that everyone I spoke to mentioned was drafting. Evex with the skibbity reference. Not only drafting brawlers that are good on that map and mode, but also counter your opponent's brawlers. For example, if you're playing Bounty on Shooting Star, you're likely to pick a sniper. If the enemy chose Piper, you should choose Nani because she's a sniper that's great on this map and Nani counters Piper. There are also big differences between first and last pick. First picks usually do well against most brawlers because you know your opponents have 3 slots to choose counters. Last picks, on the other hand, leave no chance for your opponents to counter you. This means you can choose a brawler that counters your opponent's picks or a brawler that is very strong but easily countered. Let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is laning/regrouping. If you're laning against a brawler that you counter, stay laning them. If they switch lanes, you should too. Now obviously the opposite is also true. If you're laning against someone that completely counters you, you should switch lanes with your teammates. A lot of players will just rush back to the objective after they respawn. For example, in Hot Zone Ring of Fire, if all 3 of your opponents are holding the zone, wait for at least one other teammate before re-engaging. You're much more likely to win a 2v3 or 3v3 than you are to win a 1v3. Time for tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to use carry brawlers, especially when pushing solo. Carry brawlers are strong brawlers who have the potential to do most of the work. Whether it's a game-changing hypercharge super combo or just an all-around great brawler with an excellent kit. Kenji spoke about using Pearl a lot because she doesn't get banned much and is a very solid brawler. Brawlers with low DPS aren't often thought of as carries because their time to take down is long and exaggerated against tanks. So be sure to use some high damage hypercharge carry brawlers to carry yourself and your team all the way to masters. I can't believe we're already on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is to make sure you don't tilt or rage play. If you lose a few in a row, take a little break, cool off, and come back and try again. You won't be playing out of anger or frustration and you'll play much better. Now, on the flip side, if you lose one game, don't start tilting and stop playing. One bad game or bad teammate happens to everyone. Just move on to the next game and hope for a better result. Now, for the 5th and final tip that these pros told me, play at the end of the season because it will be easier. Not only will the good players be higher up in the rankings, but anyone who is still in the lower ranks that actively plays belongs there. Both of these things should help you to push. I hope you learned something. Comment down below which tip you didn't know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Be sure to check out my last video on Squad Busters. See ya. Love ya.